Yes, my dear students. So you already might have been started to study for your board examination, as we are aware that in a month of this one, January, we are going to start our practical examination, and immediately after that, from 10th February, we are going to start with our theory examination. Okay. So all the best for that examination. Before starting with the preparation tips only, I'm giving you the all the best, seeing that definitely you are really enthusiastic to know that how we can score the good marks in the examination. Fine. Now, today we are going to talk about physics paper. Now, most of the students are having the doubts as well as the dilemma in their mind that whether this paper will be, the subject will be difficult or not, or how to write down the paper, answer sheet and everything. So please make it in a very important thing you should keep in your mind, that remove the dilemma, remove the obstacles from your mind, that physics is a very tough subject. After doing the hard work as well as a smart work, definitely you can score the good marks in an examination, physics paper, basically. Okay. So let us see what are the various preparation tips, okay, to score the good marks in physics subject. Okay. Now, as we are already aware that physics paper is of 100 marks. Out of those 100 marks, 70 marks are for theory, and you are going to appear for your practical examination, which is having 30 marks. Okay. So total mark for the physics paper is 100. Now, 30 marks, definitely it is very easy to score this 30 marks, because whatever the mark distribution, it is already been given in a textbook, in a journal itself. So you just go through it and accordingly you prepare for the practical examination, and definitely you can score the 30 marks in the practical examination. Theory. Theory question basically, or theory paper, is of 70 marks. Now, how this 70 marks has been distributed to the various chapters. Now, there are total 16 chapters in physics. Okay. Starting with the rotational dynamics, our last chapter is the semiconductor device. Now, out of the 16 chapter, you can just see that the maximum weightage is given for rotational dynamics, mechanical properties of fluid, kinetic theory, thermodynamics. Okay. Proceeding with the wave optics, then the next one is a electromagnetic induction. Okay. So these are the topics which are having the maximum weightage in the question paper. Now here you can observe the marks without option and marks with option. So you can just consider the marks with option, because we have to score the maximum marks in the examination. So out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chapter which are having the maximum weightage, you can just go through at least 4 chapters. Okay. Now, I will suggest you no need to study all the 16 chapters. Out of those 16 chapters, you can study 12 chapters, minimum 12 chapters. But yes, the preparation should be very thoroughly. Okay, the theory part as well as the numericals based on those particular chapters have to be studied very efficiently, very nicely. Then only you can score the maximum marks in the examination. Okay, so out of this 12 chapters, any 5 chapters you can just consider from these maximum weightage chapter. Proceeding with 6 marks chapter, superposition of waves 6 marks, current electricity 6 marks, then magnetic fields due to electric current 6 marks, and the AC circuit. Now, out of these 6 marks weightage chapters, current electricity is a very easiest chapter. And if you study this current electricity thoroughly, that means you are preparing for your practical examination as well. Because most of the experiments are based on the current electricity chapter itself. Potentiometer hai, meter bridge hai. Okay. So if you are preparing that current electricity chapter, you are preparing for your practical examination as well. So I suggest you that don't leave or don't skip this or don't omit the current electricity chapter. It's very easy. The numerical based on it are also very easy. So current electricity, you can just think about it for the preparation. Very nice preparation. Magnetic fields due to electric current. Some of the concept you already learned in 11th standard. Proceeding with the advanced concept are given in our 12th standard. Please go through and prepare very well for this chapter, magnetic fields due to electric current. And very easy numericals have been asked based on this chapter. They are based on the formula itself, the substitution in the formula, and then the last answer you're supposed to find out in case of a numerical. So magnetic fields due to electric current and superposition of waves. Okay, you can just omit the AC circuit if you are not comfortable, because AC circuit basically is having the number of formulas and it's a very lengthy chapter. Basically it's very easy, but since having the more derivation, more formulas, you may find it is very difficult. So for a moment you can just leave it and you can just go through the other chapters which you find more comfortable, more easy, and you are very much confident that yes, I can write down the answer of those particular question based on that topic. Okay, then 5 marks is oscillation. Yes, very easy chapter. Please really prepare this oscillation chapter. Magnetic material, it is also very easy chapter. There are 2 to 3 derivation and the rest are the definitions and the formulas have been given in a magnetic material, and those are very easy. So please do not leave or do not omit this magnetic material. Okay, so I'll state for this one, magnetic material, semiconductor devices. There is hardly one numerical in a semiconductor devices. So prepare these chapters very well. Semiconductor devices. You know what is the meaning of PN junction. You know what you mean by the forward bias, reverse bias. So all the application based on the semiconductors have been taught or have been given in the semiconductor device chapter. Please don't leave this chapter as well. Okay, so fine. So without option, you can just see the total marks for the paper is 70 and total marks with option is it is 98. Okay, so out of these 16 chapters, if you prepare very well, the 12 chapters, if it is been prepared by you very well, it is very, what we can say, I will definitely give you the confidence that you can score the good marks in the examination. But whenever you will study only 12 chapters, make sure that you had gone through the theory part properly, you have prepared the numericals thoroughly, the formulas, the substitutions, the log calculation, everything. Okay, should be prepared very well. Now, while preparing those chapters, just read the textbook. Textbook is a very much essential. Nothing will be asked out of the textbook. So when you will study the theory part, go through each and every point of the theory, the numericals as well as what we can say, the examples which have been given, the laws, the definition, and the laws and definition has to be written as the way it is given in a textbook, which carries marks. Okay, in case of a numericals also, no numericals will be asked out of the syllabus. The numericals will be unsolved and solved, which has been given in your textbook. Okay, so please go through all the solved and unsolved numericals, I'll say, so that you will be having a confidence that yes, I can solve the numericals. Okay, now only the numbers may be changed, but the what we can say, the type of the numericals will remain same. Okay, so please prepare those chapters. Okay. Now, by considering the various types of the students, the average students, the poor students, as well as the what we can say, the bright students, the question paper has basically been set by the examiner or by the what we can say, the exam setter, that so that the all this type of a students, the nourishing as well as a catering of all such a type of a student should be taken care. Okay, so if you see the in the question paper, the 29 marks questions actually the will be of easy type. So most of the questions will be of easy type. That is 29 marks will be given to the easy type of a question. Average, the questions of average type will be asked for 49 marks, by considering that there might be a poor student, there might be a weak students, okay, there might be an average student, so that they should get a confidence that yes, we can write down the paper. So the difficulty level is less if you compare. It is only 20 marks, okay, that is only 20%. But so that the maximum number of students should pass out in the examination, the maximum marks is been allotted to the question which are easy as well as average. Okay, so if you see total weightage with option, 29 marks for easy, 49 marks for average, 20 marks for the difficult. Okay, so percentage wise, if you see Counting the what? 98 marks. 98 marks, that means what? The total marks actually of the paper. Okay. So if you prepare for easy question as well as average question, total 78, you can just go through it. Okay. So if you prepare the average type of a question or easy type of a question, that means you are preparing for 78 marks. And our actual paper is of only 70 marks. So it is very easy to score the good marks in the examination. So you can just focus on the easy question and the average type of a question. Now the question may arise in a mind that which is easy type of a question and which is an average type of a question. If you just go through all the definition, all the application, all the laws which are been given in a textbook, okay, so all these are basically easy and average type of a question. Formulas which are have to be used to solve the numericals are definitely the simple formulas are average type of a question. Okay, so the numericals based on the simple formulas basically are the average type of a question. So if you prepare those application, function, uses, then laws, the definition, advantages, disadvantages which have been given in a textbook, that means you are preparing for easy as well as the average type of a question. Okay. There are certain application type of a question also. That means based on the principle. If you know the law, if you know the principle, based on that, we have to apply those particular law to a particular situation. So in that case, the difficult question, that means so as to identify such a type of a students who can solve the application type of a question, the difficult question can be set by the paper setup. Okay, so if you score the good marks, if you want to score the good marks in the examination, you can focus on easy and the average marks more. Okay, so this is the difficulty level of the question. Okay, now weightage to type of a question. Okay, now we cannot, the paper cannot be set for only MCQs or only very short answers so as to cater the various qualities of the students. For example, the application as well as the understanding and the knowledge, whether the students are aware about the topic or not, whether a student understand the topic or not, whether students can apply the knowledge to a particular situation or not. So only one type of a question cannot be asked in the examination. Okay, so exam paper has been set so that to cater all these qualities of or the skills of the students. Okay, so what are the various types of a question can be asked in the examination? The very first one is a MCQs, multiple choice question. Okay, now the total marks for this is 10. Okay, marks for each 1 mark. Okay, number of questions which can be asked of MCQs are 10 questions. Okay, each carries 1 mark. So absolutely total marks without option is 10 marks. The next one is a very short answer. Very short answer. That means you are supposed to write it down in a 1 sentence or in a 1 word. If it is right, you can get 1 mark for it. So 1 mark, and then question number, it is of question number 2. Okay, 1 to 8 question will be asked in question number 2. Okay, and the total mark for that question is 8 mark. Point to be noted, my dear students, that MCQs and very short answers, there is no any option. Okay, you have to mandatorily solve those two particular questions, question number 1 and question number 2. That is MCQ as well as a very short answer. Okay, now in MCQs and the very short answers, there are the possibilities that some numericals may be asked. But those numericals will be definitely a very easy numericals. Okay, so the calculation part will not be much in those particular type of a question. Okay, which will be asked in MCQs as well as which will be asked in a very short answer. Okay, so this is 8 marks. Now short answer first. 2 marks each, question number 3 to question number 40. Now here you can observe the number of questions, starting from question number 1 to question number 31. So total there are 31 questions. All these questions have been divided into various types. Here you can observe it. So question number 1 is MCQs question. Question number 2 is very short answer. Question number 3 to 14. Now there are 12 questions basically, and out of those 12 questions, you are supposed to solve or to write only 8 questions. Each carries 2 marks. Okay. So total mark for that question is 16 marks. Okay. It is a very short answer. That means what? You are supposed to will be asked that what are the disadvantages or advantages of a particular thing, or you will be asked what are the distinguish between the two particular categories. Okay. Or you will be asked what are the statement of a law, explain that statement of a law. So such a type of question can be asked for in this short answer question. Okay. Proceeding with the next one is a short answer 2. Now short answer 2 is a 3 marks each. Okay. Question number 15 to question number 26. There are 12 questions. Out of these 12 questions, any 8 questions have to be solved. Okay. Now within that 12 questions might be there is a possibility of, or there are the numericals based on the certain formulas. Okay. So question number 15 to 26, 8 questions to be written down. Now each carries 3 marks. So 8 threes are 24. So total mark for those questions are 24 marks. Okay. Now it is a short answer 2. That indicates what? If it is asked for 3 marks, absolutely the mark distribution will be different from that of what? Short answer 1. We will just go through the mark distribution as well. Now, long answer. It's a last question. 4 marks each. Question number 27 to question number 31. There are 5 questions. Question number 27 to question number 31. Okay. Out of those 5 questions, you are supposed to solve only 3 questions. You are supposed to write down only 3 questions. Each carries 4 marks. So 4 threes are 12. So total mark for that particular question, large answer will be of 12 marks. There is a possibility that this 4 marks can be divided as 3 plus 1, can be divided as 2 plus 2, can be divided or can be exactly asked for a 4 marks question. So these are the this is the last one, large long answer question. Okay. So total mark for that examination. Total mark for the examination now, it is how much it is? 70 marks. So in this way, all the 70 marks has been distributed among the all type of a question. Okay. Okay. Very, very essential paper pattern for physics examination. Okay. Now, what type of a question will be asked that we had already gone through. Okay. But since we are appearing for the physics examination, physics subject, definitely there is a possibility of theory question as well as a numerical question. Okay. So how many numericals will be asked in a one particular section? How many theory question will be asked in a particular question? So that you can prepare accordingly. Okay, so that should be very much aware, and for that I'm just going through this particular slide. You can observe it. Total duration for the examination is 3 hours. We are already aware. Total marks for that examination is 70. Now, this question paper has been divided into 4 sections. You all already gone through the annual examination in 11th standard. So slightly you might be having certain idea about the annual examination paper. In a similar way, there will be a board examination. Okay. So in a board examination also there are 4 sections. Section A. Now, this section A contains question number 1 as well as question number 2. Okay. Now, in question number 1, this contains 10 multiple choice question carrying 1 mark each. Okay. MCQ type of a question. Very much essential, my dear students. In question 1, MCQ's type of a question, you are supposed to write down the option number, that means alphabet A, B, C, D, whichever is applicable, whichever is relevant, you will write it down A. Okay. And along with that A, you are supposed to mention the answer as well. If it is not been mentioned, you will lose your 1 mark. Okay. So I want to stress on that particularly, because sometimes it happens that students write down A, B, C, D from 1 to 10 questions. All the option number is right. But since the answers have not been written by you, you will lose your marks. Okay. Even though those options are right. So make sure that in case of a MCQ question, you write down the option alphabet along with the answer as well. Okay. So this is a 10 multiple choice question carrying 1 mark each. There is no option for this particular question. Now, out of those 10 questions, 7 will be theory and 3 plus 3 numericals. Numericals will also be a easy numericals, not that much difficult. Okay, so that you can just calculate it very well easily. Okay, and write down the answer. So 7 theory plus 3 numericals. Okay, so total there are 10 questions, which are all mandatory, which are all compulsory. You are supposed to write down the answer of all. Question number 2 contains 8 very short answer type questions carrying 1 mark each. Very short answer type question can be asked as a define or state what is exactly the law, can be asked for 1 mark, or what is exactly the value of a certain particular constant, what are the dimension, what are the unit of particular quantity, can be asked in such a type of a question, okay, where you are supposed to write down the answer in one sentence or in a one word, okay. So in that particular question, you can just see the 6 theory question plus 2 numerical, okay, which are also mandatory. You cannot omit this one, okay. So 6 theory and 2 numericals question. Those numerical questions are based on the theory itself. Now proceeding with the second section. Now, so from this particular explanation, you would have been now understood that section A is compulsory. Okay, so you cannot skip any of the question in that case. By my suggestion, while writing down the question paper or answer paper, dear students, write down this question section A at the end, if possible. I tell you the reason behind it. Now, most of the questions which have been asked in question number 1 as well as question number 2 are application based, okay? And second thing is about your understanding level should be clear, okay? Now, why I'm telling you this thing? Because if you are confident about those particular answers, then only attempt this question first. If you are having certain doubts in your mind that whether this is the answer or that is the answer, please do not write it down, that answers, because only one attempt of question number 1 will be considered. The second attempt will not be evaluated, even though it is right. Okay, so write down the answer of question number 1 and question number 2 if you are you are more confident while writing the answer. Yes, this answer is right. Okay. So this is the section A. Proceeding with the second one, that is section B. Now in a section B, 12 short answer type questions carrying 2 marks each. There is an option in that case, attempt any 8. There are 12 short answers, which is each one of it is having 2 marks. Out of those 12 short answer, you're supposed to write down the answer of only 8 questions. Now out of those 12, 7 theory plus 5 numericals. See, in the paper itself, you can observe that the numericals have been asked in each and every section. So please don't skip, don't omit the numerical part. Okay, you cannot escape from that numericals. Okay, so if your theory is really good, you will be in a position to solve the numerical based on that theory. Okay, so in a section B, since there are 7 theory, and you can, if you are confident about the theory, yes, you can write down the answer for the theory question. So 7 theory, but even though since you are supposed to write down the answer of a 8 question, we are supposed to appear for one more numerical as well. Okay, so you cannot escape from the numerical as well. So 7 theory plus 5 numerical. So out of 5 numericals, 1 numerical has to be solved so that our attempt any 8, that particular criteria or that condition has to be fulfilled. Okay, so 7 theory plus 5 numericals in section number B. Now in this section number B, I'll just let you know that how the mark has been distributed. Now if the numericals have been asked, then there will be a half mark for the formula, half mark for the substitution, and 1 mark for the answer of the numerical. So in this way, actually the mark has been distributed to a particular numerical. Now if the statement has been asked, then directly the 2 marks will be given to the statement. If the definition has been asked for 2 different quantities or 2 different particular things, okay, then in that case 1 marks will be allotted to each one of the that quantity. Okay, so 7 theory plus 5 numerical. Now proceeding with the next section, that is section C. Now here you can observe 12 short answers type questions carrying 3 marks each. Total there will be 12 questions. Out of those 12 questions, you are supposed to attempt only 8 questions. Okay, each question carries 3 marks and total mark for that particular section is 24. Now, out of those 12 questions, 7 will be based on the theory and 5 will be based on the numericals. Okay, so here also, see, 7 theory compulsory. If you are confident, yes, you can solve those all theory questions, 7 theory question. Along with that 7 theory question, yes, we have to solve one numerical as well. So 7 theory plus 1 numerical. Yes, you can complete the criteria of attempt any 8 question. Okay. So please, again and again, I'm telling you, do not omit, do not skip, or do not overlook that numericals. It's a very easy. As I already told you that the numericals will be asked from the textbook, unsolved, solved examples. Just go through all those type of numericals. Definitely, you will be in a position to solve the numericals. Okay. So 7 theory plus 5 numericals. Okay. Section D. Now, in case of a section D, 5 long answers type questions carrying 4 marks each. Attempt any 3 long answer question. Okay. Now, this 4 marks question, you will be given 5 long question. Okay. Long answer type of a question. Out of those 5 questions, you are supposed to attempt only 3 questions. Now, in those 5 questions also, you can observe it carefully. 3 questions having 2 marks theory plus 2 marks numericals. Okay. So out of 5 questions, 3 questions within that particular 3 questions, there are the numericals. Okay. And the 2 are theory question. But sometimes it happens that the theory questions are application based type of a question and some derivation will be asked in those theory type of a question. If you are not that much of confident in solving the theory question, absolutely, you can go for a numerical type of a question. Okay. So 2 marks. Now, how those 4 mark has been distributed? Okay. Now, this 4 mark, either the 2 question theory question will be asked directly for 4 marks or the 3 theory, so 3 questions. Okay. So in that 3 questions, 2 marks theory and 2 marks numerical. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay. So 3 questions will be asked where the division of the 4 marks will be given as 2 plus 2. Okay. But total mark for that particular question will be 4. And most probably, whatever the question will be asked or whatever theory and numericals will be asked, will be based on a one particular topic only. Okay. So you will be, if you have prepared a particular topic thoroughly with the numericals, I don't think so you will face any difficulty in solving, in writing section D. Okay. So this is section D. So now here you can observe that if you skip the numericals, how many marks you will lose? See, 3 marks are mandatory in section A, which is for numericals. Okay. 2 marks, which are also mandatory to solve or to write it down, that is in a section A. So 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. Okay. Here, at least one numericals have to be solved by you so that you can complete the criteria of attempting any 8 question. So 3 plus 2 plus 2. कितना हो गया 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, right? Okay, 7. Now here also 7 theory and 5 numericals. Out of 5 numericals, if you are solving the 1 numerical, so 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 3 here, okay, is 10. And here mandatory 3 questions are 3 questions are mandatory. If you are solving the theory question, if you are writing the theory question, anyhow you have to solve one question where there is a numerical and the numerical is having 2 marks. Okay, so it is 2 marks. So total, if you see, you cannot escape from the 12 marks, minimum 12 marks of the numerical. Okay, so it is my suggestions to all of you that whenever you are preparing for the theory, make sure that you are preparing for the numerical as well. Okay, it is not that much of difficult as the way you are thinking basically. Okay, so remove that thinking and start studying. Okay, so numerical maximum marks 12 to 15 and numericals included in each and every section. You can just see that it is in each and every section. Okay, so if you want to complete the criteria of attempting the maximum number of questions, absolutely you are supposed to go through all the numericals which are given in a textbook. Very much essential. How to complete the paper? We are not getting a time, or we don't have, we did not get a time only to complete the particular section, particular question. There are many queries the students asked many times actually regarding that. So how to complete the question paper, how to complete your answer paper basically. Okay. So for that, absolutely, you have to do the time management. already aware that total mark for the total duration of the examination is 3 hours. 3 hours means it is a 180 minutes. Now, how this 180 minutes you can divide basically. It is a rough calculation which has been given. You can follow this calculation also, or you can just prepare your own calculation and accordingly you can implement during the examination. Okay. So how we can manage the time? We have to write the question paper for 70 marks and it is also in 180 minutes. So for completion of paper is very much essential to look at the time frequently. Okay. So section A. Now how those you can just see that total marks for the examination is 70 and total duration of the examination is 180 minutes. Now section A, which has been asked for 18 marks basically. Okay. Now how we can allot the time, or how much time can be allotted to section A, 30 minutes. Section B, 16 marks, which is for 16 marks. Okay. For that, the time can be allotted as 40 minutes. Section C, 24 marks. Okay. Having weightage of 24 marks. The time can be given to 60 minutes, to it as 60 minutes. Why is it so? It is the largest section, I would like to say to you. Why is it so? Because there are 8 questions to be attempted, right? Each carries 3 marks, okay? And there are 8 questions to write down all those 8 questions, including numericals, theory, there might be a diagram, okay? So it is the largest section to be written down in the answer sheet. And for that, absolutely, the maximum time has been given to that particular section, section C. Okay, section D, which is asked for 12 marks. The duration, or you can just allot the time for that section as 30 minutes. Okay. And in this way, you can complete your 160 minutes. Now, your question may arise in mind that out of 180, why it is 160 here? Because reading of the paper is very much essential, my dear students. 10 minutes you can spend for reading the paper. Once you got the paper at 11 o'clock in the morning, absolutely, the reading of paper is very much essential. So please, please, please allot your 10 minutes, first 10 minutes to read the paper. Now, whenever you read the paper, make sure that you are going to write down the particular question. On the last page of your answer sheet, basically, you can write down the questions to be written by you. You are confident. Section A, which question? There actually there no option only. You have to attempt all the question. But starting with the section B. Now in section B, which number of questions you are going to write it down, for which you are more confident, for which you can write it down clearly. Okay, just write down the question number, this, and this, because you are not supposed to write down anything on the question paper. Do not do the marking also. Okay, so marking is also been prohibited. So make sure that you write it down, that those questions on a question on an answer sheet. Okay, so section A, I'm going to attempt this question. Then section C, which questions will be attempted by you, just please make a note of it. Then you can go for section D. Okay, so any section you can start first. There is no any what we can say the restriction that you are supposed to start with the section A only or B only. See, no. You can start with any of the section, but my suggestion is that whenever you write it down, the questions for which you are confident, okay, only that particular section you start first. Suppose you find that section D is all the question. How many questions to be attempted? 3 questions. So yes, I am in a position to write it down all the 3 questions or all the answers of those particular questions. Yes, you can start with the section D. Okay, so write down all the 3 question answer of all this particular question properly. Okay, once it has been completed, you can go for a second section. Okay, but intermediate, please do not change the section. What is the meaning of that? I started with a section D. No, I am not confident about this third question. No, I'll go for a section B now, or I will go for a section C now. Don't do that. Okay, so whenever you will start the particular section, make sure that you complete that section first. Okay, so if you are starting with the sections D, you can go for the section D. What is the time duration allotted to it? 30 minutes. So you can complete with section D, then you can go for section C or section B, and last you can go for a section A. Now, why I'm telling you to write down the section A last? Now, absolutely whatever suggestion I'm giving you, it is not necessary that you should go through it or you should implement it as it is. Only thing is that so as to score the maximum marks, absolutely this whatever suggestion I'm giving you will definitely beneficial for you. Okay, because in section A there is no second attempt, or if you attempted second times, that will not be evaluated. Okay, so keep it at the end so that you can think about that section A properly and you can write down the answer at the end. Okay, so out of these four section, you can observe what is the maximum weightage to which particular section there is a maximum marks. Section C, where you are supposed to write down the 8 question having 3 marks each. Okay, which will take more time. Okay, so you can finish with that question section first. Section C for 60 minutes. Once you are finished with this particular section C, absolutely maximum burden आपके सर से निकल जाएगा. The reason is what? It is of 24 marks and there are 8 questions to be written down, which takes more time. Okay, so you can start with the section C, write down all the questions, 8 questions. Do not go for the options number, means if you are leaving certain question, it's okay, doesn't matter. Okay, but if you're confident, yes, I can write on all the 12 question. Initially, please don't go for all the options. Okay, now you can just attempt the 8 question first. Okay, and 4 question agar aapko likhna hai, you can write it down once you complete your whole paper. Then you go for the options it later on at the end of the examination. Okay, so section C first you can start with it, then you can go for section D or you can go for section B, and at the last you can go for section A. Okay, but as I already told you that while writing down the answer from a particular section, complete that section first and then only you go for a next section. Okay, so if there is a jumbling of the question, definitely the examiner will get irritated and definitely you may score the less marks in the examination. Okay, so solve only those particular question, that particular section for which you are more confident. Yes, I can write down the question or I can write down the answer of those particular question. Okay, so 20 minutes, how it has been distributed. 10 minutes to start. At the start, you are supposed to read the question paper carefully. Okay. And at the end, do not overconfident. Yes, whatever I have written, it is right only. I know it very well. Okay. You may have been written right only. But thing is that sometime it happens that in a hurry, you may make a silly mistake. So 10 minutes are very much essential at the end of the examination. Okay. So last 10 minutes, you always keep for reading the paper. Very, very essential. Okay, so if at all you would have been made any silly mistake, you can rectify it immediately. You will understand, अरे हाँ यहाँ पे मेरा गलत हुआ है. You can just change it and you can write down the correct answer over there. Or whatever steps you might have been missed out, you can just include those steps in a particular derivation. Okay, so this is the total time management of the paper. Okay, now if you are writing down the question paper by considering this time management, absolutely it is very much helpful to you to complete the paper. Okay, now before writing down the last examination, board examination, I'll suggest you just go through the PYQs paper, at least 2 to 3 PYQs paper actually to be solved by you before the board examination. So you will get an idea whether you are in a position to complete the paper properly or not, and the way you will write down those question paper, those sections, okay, according to time management. The same time management you can follow at the last examination as well. So do not keep anything at the last examination. Okay, so you can just do the practice of that or do the demo of that time management before the last examination. Okay. Okay. General instruction while appearing for the examination. Use of log table is allowed, use of calculator is not allowed. where you are not being allowed to use the calculator at all. The smart watches are not allowed. Okay, the mobile phones is not allowed. So how to do the log tables then? Absolutely. How to do the calculation then? With the help of a log tables. Log tables will be provided to you. You don't have to carry it with you. The board always gives us the log tables and it will be provided to you. Now, in case of a log tables, I just want to give one suggestion. In a section C, since there are the many numericals to be solved, and for those numericals, we need to use the log tables. Okay. So what you do, whichever numericals you are solving, first of all, please write down the given things given, then to find out what has to be found out, and then solution. So you just go through that particular steps. Okay, just write down all those particular steps, and then you can just take the log tables. Okay, because there will be a 25 students in a one classroom, and only 10 to 15 actually log tables have been provided to the students. Okay, so you may not get the log tables immediately. So please प्रोफोमा तैयार करके रखिएगा कि किस कैलकुलेशन किसके लिए किस क्वेश्चन के लिए हमको लॉग टेबल्स लगने वाला है. जस्ट प्रिपेयर अ प्रोफोमा एंड एट वंस ओनली यू आस्क फॉर द लॉग टेबल्स. use it for all the questions, all the numericals which has to be solved, okay, with the help of a logarithm, so that it will save your time. ऐसे मत कीजिएगा कि आज अभी सेक्शन ए मैंने सेक्शन बी मैंने किया है, उसके लिए लॉग लिया, फिर देन आई गो फॉर अ सेक्शन सी, देन आई आस्क फॉर द लॉग टेबल्स. You may not get the log tables at that time. Okay, so it will create a tension in your mind. So to avoid that, you can do one thing, that all the log calculations you can do together. You can leave a space for that. Can be done together. You can ask for the log tables and complete your work. Okay. So use of log tables is allowed. Use of calculator is not allowed. Figure to the right indicates full marks. The full marks have been indicated on the right hand side of the paper. You can just go through it for each and every question. Use of graph paper is not necessary. Only rough sketch of graph is expected. Now, in case of a physics, basically, you will not be provided a graph paper. Only you can just draw the rough sketch of that graph paper. For example, potential against the resistance, or the electric intensity against distance. What is exactly the graph? Only pro forma is needed. Okay, for that actual coordinates are not required to show that particular graph. So use of graph paper is not necessary. For each MCQ's correct answer must be written along with its alphabet, which is already been told to you. Once again, I'm stressing on the same. Okay, so if the answer is A, along with that, what is exactly the answer? A with what is the answer along with that A has to be written by you. If that answer has been not written, you will lose your mark, even though you are this alphabet A is right. Okay, so A, B, C, D के साथ आपको only first attempt will be considered. So A, B, C, D के साथ आपको उसका आंसर लिखना भी बहुत जरूरी है. And do not rewrite it, do not overwrite it. Okay, and attempt only once. If you cancel it and rewrite the answer, absolutely the another answer will not be accepted. And that is the reason I told you to write down the section A, question number 1 at the end. For that, आपका सेक्शन सी बी डी सब कंप्लीट हो गया है. नाउ यू कैन जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन सेक्शन ए एंड कैन राइट डाउन द आंसर फॉर दैट. Okay, so in that way you can complete that section A. Okay, so only first attempt will be considered for evaluation. So very essential to remember this point, my dear student. Start answer to each section on a new page. Very important. Section A from the first page. Complete that section A. Then you can go for section B. Then you can go for section C. But if the last answer of section B, if you are completed on the top of that particular paper, do not go for the section C immediately on the same paper. You can start with the next paper. Okay, so every section should be started on a new page. Okay, so you do not use the same page for the new section. Okay, so start answer to each section on a new page. Yes, important notes. Now, when we talk about the average type of a questions or easy type of a question, okay, so though for those particular type of a questions, basically the important notes to be remembered. What are the important notes? Laws. There are various laws has been given in a textbook, and whenever the laws has been asked, you are supposed to write it down the same statement as it is given in a textbook. So whenever you will prepare the laws, make sure that you write down the same statement. You prepare the same statement that is given in a textbook. Okay. So laws statement. You can score a good marks actually. If you think about this particular thing, definitely you can score the good marks. Okay. So definition, formulas, unit, dimension. Now for question number question number two, that is for a very short answer. Most of the time the unit has been asked, dimension has been asked, definition has been asked. Okay. So definitely if you are preparing the definition properly and the unit properly, dimension, you know it very well. Yes, you are preparing for 1 mark as well as for 2 marks. Distinguish between, yes, potentiometer and the this one, what we can say, the voltmeter. What is the difference between the potentiometer and the voltmeter? If such a type of a question has been asked, you should be in a position to distinguish between. You can write down the point with the help of which you are distinguish between the two. Now, while just writing down the answer of this particular type of a question, distinguish between, my dear student, make sure that you properly form the column like this. Here you will write down the first quantity. Here you will write down the second quantity, with the help of which you are going to distinguish. Okay. So write down the particular point, and from considering the particular point only, what is the distinguish, what is the difference between these two quantities has to be mentioned like this one. Then you will go for a second point. Then you will go for a third point, and so on. Okay. Do not write down the answer of distinguish between in a para. पहले एक क्वांटिटीज के 2 पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं, उसके बाद दूसरे क्वांटिटीज के 2 पॉइंट लिखे हैं. This is not called as a distinguish. Okay. Here you may lose the point. Right. Okay. So make sure that you write it down like this one. So here actually we are not in a position to understand that which particular point has been considered for distinguish. Here it is very easy to understand. Okay. So always write down the answer for distinguish between in this way only, column wise. Okay. Okay. The next one, application, uses and function. Very essential, and it is very easy to remember also. So you can just prepare the application, uses and the function. Merits and demerits of a various quantities, or what are the various laws. Then advantages and disadvantages, give reason, short notes, diagrams and its explanation. Explanation means labeling, very essential. Okay. Now in case of a diagram, the diagram has to be drawn with a pencil only. Use the scale, then stencil you can use it. You can ask for it to the supervisor whether I can use the stencil or not. But definitely the board actually allowed to use a stencil. So you can use a stencil, draw the proper diagram, label it properly. Okay. And just enclose it in a box. Suppose you have drawn the diagram somewhere like this one. So make sure that you enclose it in a box. It really looks neat and tidy. Okay. So how much you are interested in writing the paper, that also reflect in a marks also, dear students. Okay. So diagrams has to be drawn properly and label it properly. While labeling also, label should be like this one. Arrow should be like this one. You are labeling this one, this particular quantity. You are labeling this particular quantity. So it has to be written in the same way. Okay. And write it with a pencil only, not with a pen. Only diagrams has to be written, has to be drawn with a pencil. The rest thing you can write, you have to write it down in a pen only. Okay. So diagram and its explanation, that means a labeling part. Okay. Now point to be focused. Now most of the point which I already gone through it, but once more, some of the points I may missed out. So I have written all the points which has to be focused more actually. Write all question number. Okay. Now write all question. Why? You make ask the question yourself that why to write down all the question number if I am going to attempt only one question or only certain type of a number of question which is very much essential for a particular section. सेक्शन सी में मुझे कितने क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करने हैं 8 क्वेश्चन बराबर है तो मुझे मैं आगे का क्वेश्चन में अटेम्प्ट नहीं करने वाला हूं तो डजंट मैटर बट ओनली थिंग इज दैट यू आर सपोज टू राइट डाउन ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट द क्वेश्चन the reason behind it if you are written the question number and if you try to attempt that question okay and if that particular question is not right or is wrong in a question paper, absolutely you may get the marks as a benefit of doubt later on. Okay. But if you do not attempt that question clearly, then absolutely there is no chance to get the marks only. Okay, अगर अटेम्प्ट किया है इसका मतलब क्या है, अटेम्प्ट करने की कोशिश की है बट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, समथिंग कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया है, दैट्स बिकॉज ऑफ व्हाट, द क्वेश्चन इज नॉट प्रॉपर. So in that case, you will get the marks. You may earn the marks in that case. Okay. So write all the question. If you have written question number, suppose in a section C, you have written the question number 16, 17, 18 के बाद आपने डायरेक्ट 20 लिखा है, 19 वाला मिस्ड हुआ है. Yes, you attempt all the 8 questions. But after end of the examination, during the examination, at the end of the examination, you can just write down the question number 19, which we haven't written the answer. At least try to attempt it. Okay. Write down the question number, try to attempt the certain type of a what we get, the sentence can be written or the steps can be written, so that it will be considered that yes, this student have tried to attempt that question, but because of the problem in that question couldn't attempt it. So you may get a benefit of doubt. So write all question number. Step by step presentation, very essential. Okay. Now in case of theory, if the derivation has been asked, okay, so how actually the marks has been given to the derivation, I'll just explain you. Now, if the derivation has been asked for 3 marks, then half mark for the diagram, if at all the diagram is there for a particular question, half mark for the explanation of that diagram, and 2 mark for the derivation. Okay. So we have been told basically to correct the paper according to that only. Okay. If the diagram is drawn, yes, half marks should be given. If that explanation of the diagram is right, yes, that half mark has to be given. Now with this 2 mark also, there are certain steps we are supposed to write it down. You are supposed to write it down. If that particular steps has been written, yes, 1 mark, please give it. Half mark, yes, given. Half mark has been given. Okay. So step by step presentation is a very much essential. Okay. So accordingly, you will get the mark in the examination for that particular question. Okay. So step by step presentation. This is for a theory. Now, in case of a numericals, as I told you, given how to write down, how to solve the numericals. Then, first of all, in case of a numericals, you will written down the given things, what has been given to you. First step. Second step, what is it? To find out. You can just write down what has to be found out. Okay. Then formula. Now, most probably what exactly happened, whenever you write it down, the given things, okay, and to find out, you understand or you remember, अरे हाँ ये फॉर्मूला है जिसकी वजह से मैं exactly ये quantity find out कर सकता हूँ. Okay, so in that case you will remember the formula. So first is given, then to find, and third is a formula, and last one is a what? The solution of that numerical. Is it clear? So step by step presentation of the derivation, step by step presentation of the numericals has to be done. Now there is no any mark for given and to find, but it is very essential to write down the things because it will reflect you, or if you will come to know that which formula to be used to find out the value of a particular quantity, physical quantity. Okay, so please write down the given things, then to find out, then formula, and the last is a solution. Now in solution also you will write down the formula, then you will substitute in the formula, and then you will do the log calculation, and at the end you will write down the result. Now in the result also, in case of a numericals, make sure that along with the numerical value, you write down the unit, proper unit also of that particular quantity. The reason is if the numerical, in a numericals, if the that unit has not been written, definitely you will lose your half marks. Okay, even though your magnitude of that quantity is right, numerical value is right, but since the unit is wrong, you may lose the half mark for that particular case. Okay, if at all there is a unit for the quantity. Okay, so only the number or degree of freedom as it has been asked, then there might not be any unit. Okay, अगर unit less रहेगा तो पूरा marks मिल जाएगा particular quantities का. Okay, but if that quantity has having certain unit, yes, it is very much essential, it is very much mandatory to write down the numerical, the unit of that quantity along with the numerical value. Okay, so this is the way you can do the step by step presentation of the question. Okay, now in case of a distinguish also, which I already told you, in case of a distinguish, 2 points has to be written on a separate column. टू क्वांटिटीज, ओके, एंड पर्टिकुलर क्वांटिटीज पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट्स के साथ उसको हम लोग कैसे डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, हम लोग कैसे डिस्टिंग्विश कर रहे हैं उसके, वो आपको लिखना बहुत जरूरी है, ओके. सो इट हैज टू बी अ कॉलम वाइज. एवरी टॉपिक इज अ सिंगल. नाउ व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट? मोस्ट ऑफ द टॉपिक, नॉट ऑल द टॉपिक, sorry, most of the topic, not all the topic. uh, Rotational dynamics. Now, when you read the question, you really remember that from which particular topic the question has been asked. Angle of banking. Angle of banking is there in from the rotational dynamics only. There is no any other chapter which is having the angle of banking. So you understand that the topic name, you understand, you remember that particular topic name, okay, you realize it, okay, and definitely you write down, you try to memorize those things, remember those things, and you write down the answer. Similarly, what we get the next one is the current electricity. Now, current electricity is a unique chapter. There is no any relation of that particular chapter with any other chapter. The next one is you can just see that superposition, no, not superposition of waves. The next one is a dual nature. Now, in case of a dual nature of radiation and the matter, there is no any other chapter which related to be that one. So it's that particular topic is a single. But when we talk about electromagnetic induction, AC circuit, yes, there is a relation. So AC circuit is based on the electromagnetic induction. Wave theory of optics, it's again it is a unique chapter, it is a single chapter. Okay, so in this way you can just see that every topic is so some of the topics are single and some of the topics are really dependent on any other chapter. Okay, so you will understand that from which particular question, from which particular topic the question has been asked. Okay. Logbook and approximate values in numericals. It is very essential to use a logarithm or log tables during the examination. The reason behind it, you get an exact value. Manually, sometimes you may not get it, but definitely with the logarithm, you will get the value. Now, sometimes it happens that you may not get the exact value, approximate value. Yes, you can write it down it as like this one, approximate. If you got the exact value, you will write down equal to. If you get the approximate value, you write it down approximate value in a numericals as nearly equal to. It is not exactly equal to. Okay. So this point. Now for next point is 2 and 3 marks derivation diagram is necessary to draw if it is there in the textbook. Yes. Now, sometime it happens that the 2 marks in a 2 marks derivation has been asked for 2 marks. Okay. Now, if the derivation is asked for 2 marks, which is a very small derivation, and if for that particular derivation, the diagram has been given in a textbook, it is very essential to draw that diagram. That diagram carries half marks, explanation of the diagram carries half mark, and 1 mark for that particular derivation. Okay. So in this way, the mark will be distributed for 2 marks. Okay. Same in case of a 3 marks. Now in case 3 marks also the diagram is necessary, provided it is given for that particular question. Okay. So half mark for the diagram. Sometimes there is a 1 mark also for the diagram. Okay. So 1 mark and 2 mark will be for a derivation. So in this way, basically the mark distribution has been given in a model answer when we check the paper basically. Okay. So wherever there is a diagram given in a textbook for a particular topic, for a particular question, yes, it is very essential to draw it. Okay. So 2 marks, 3 marks derivation diagram is necessary. Okay. Now, whenever we will go through these particular points, now all these points to be remembered at the time of examination. Okay. Now let us go through one question paper. So you will be in a position to understand that how it has to be written properly. Okay. Now we will just go through the paper. We'll just go through the question paper. Okay. So we will just go through the question paper. So you will be in a better position to understand that how to write down the paper. Now this is the question paper. You can observe it in the screen on the screen. At very first, we will be given a general instruction, section A, what is there in a section A, what is there in a section B, what is there in a section C and D contains. Okay. See, what are the general instruction we have already discussed, all have been written here as well. Okay. So use of log table is allowed, use of calculator is not allowed. Figure to the right indicates full marks, multiple choice questions only. The first attempt will be evaluated. Okay, or be considered for the evaluation. Okay, so these are the general instruction. Along with the general instruction, along with the general instructions, we will be given a certain constant. Okay, now some constants are, you can observe it on the screen. Second. Okay, now here you can observe that physical constant. Some physical constants whose values are really same, it is not been changing. So all the values has been given. H Planck constant, C speed of light, then pi value, then G value, epsilon 0, mu 0. So you can use this value from the given, okay, wherever it is required in solving the numerical. Section A. Now let's proceed with the section A. Sile can write the correct answers for the following multiple choice type of a question. We already discussed regarding this 10 marks. The question will be asked for 10 marks. Now here, the first question answer is zero law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of a thermodynamic. Okay. Now, if two systems are each in thermal equilibrium with a third system, they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. This statement refers to zeroth law of thermodynamics. Now here, while writing the answer of this question, you will write down the option A. Along with that, you will write down zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay. So make sure that, make it a habit that you will write down the answer in the same way. Okay. So in this way, you can complete the first section. Yeah, these are the questions. Now here you can observe that all these are the based on the theory question only. No numericals have been asked till 7th. Proceeding. Yeah, here 3. As we already discussed, here there will be 7 numericals in question number 1 and 3, 7 theory and 3 numericals. Okay, so 8th, 9th and 10th, all these are based on the numerical. Numericals are also very easy numerical. It will be formula based, substitution in a formula and find out the answer. You may not require the log tables also in order to solve these numericals. Okay. Following with the question number 2, answer the following question. Now, these are the 1 mark question, which is very much essential. All are mandatory. Now, at what temperature the surface tension of a liquid becomes 0? It is a critical temperature. So, very small line has been given in your textbook. If you just go through that particular chapter, dear students, okay, may not be in a position to remember also. अरे शायद नहीं पूछेंगे या तो फिर इतना कुछ ये नहीं है, easy ये नहीं है, important नहीं है. But it's not like that. The question number 2. 1 मार्क का जो क्वेश्चन है, किसी भी पेज से, किसी भी क्वेश्चन से, किसी भी चैप्टर से आपको पूछा जा सकता है. Okay, so while preparing for the examination, dear students, as I always stress, and I now also I'm telling you, please go through the textbook. Okay, second one is a defined self-inductance. The definition as it is given in a textbook, you are supposed to write down. Proceeding with the next one, so you can observe it, say 6th, 7th and 8th. Now here in this case, 7th and 8th are based on the numericals, okay? So which is also of 1 mark, just substitution and find the answer. In that case, question number 1 and question number 2, dear students, very, very essential. There is no any half mark system at all. Either you will get 0 or you will get 1. Okay, so if the numerical has been asked and you are supposed to write down the answer of that particular numerical, make sure that you write down the proper magnitude, that is proper numerical value, along with the proper unit of that physical quantity, which has to be found out. Okay, if the unit has not been written, you will not get the half mark for that numerical value, which may be right. Is it clear? Okay, so there is no any half mark system in question number A. Okay, or section A, basically question number 1 and question number 2. Either you will get 0 or 1 mark. So very, very essential to remember those things. Proceeding with the section B, Attempt any 8 questions of the following. See, question number 3, explain harmonics and overtone. You can easily make out that for how many marks the particular question will be asked. Okay, इसका मतलब harmonics के लिए 1 mark रहेगा, overtone के लिए 1 mark रहेगा, because the question itself is carries 2 marks. Okay, so if at all, if you write down both the points and both are right, definitely you will get 2 marks. If one of the points is wrong or if does not been written, you will not get the 2 mark, because you have attempted, but that is not been written. Overtone is has been not written. So you will not get the marks for that overtone. So you will get 1 mark. Okay. So write down both the points as it has been asked in the examination for a particular question. Question number 4, using Newton's law of viscosity for streamlined flow, derive an expression for coefficient of viscosity. Here, there are the steps basically. Okay. So there are the particular steps to be written. Now each steps will be having a marks. Okay, so half marks, and then 1 mark. It's a very small what we can say the derivation. So half and 1. So likewise there will be a distribution in a of a marks for a question number 4. Proceeding with the question number 5, state the formula for magnetic induction produced by a current in a circular arc of a wire. Hence, find the magnetic induction at the center of a current carrying circular loop. Now, up till question number 5, from 3 to question number 5, if you just go through it, you don't have to draw the diagram in those questions, because it is not given in a textbook only, right? Okay. State the formula. Just write down the statement. What is exactly the formula for the magnetic induction produced by a current in a circular arc of a wire? Now here you are supposed to mention, but B is a magnetic induction, mu0 is a permeability of the free space, theta is an angle made at the arc. Okay. So this point has to be mentioned. Then hence find the magnetic induction at the center of a current. Again, it is a derivation. Now here it is a derivation, but it doesn't have any formula. It doesn't have any diagram. Okay, so you can just write down the steps and complete the answer of this question. Proceeding with the next one, state and prove the law of conservation of angular momentum. Statement carries half marks and 1.5 marks for the proof. So that 1.5 marks also has been given to a particular steps. Now, if those particular steps are not been written by you, you will lose your marks. So write down the proper steps so that you will get the maximum marks. State any 4 advantages of light emitting diode LED. Now here the number of application, number of advantage have been mentioned, 4 advantage, which indicates what? Half mark for each advantage. So if you have written only 2, you will not get 2 marks for that. You will get only 1 mark for that. Okay. So if the that number has been mentioned, you are supposed to write down those particular numbers only or those particular advantages only. 4 पूछा है तो आपको 4 ही लिखना पड़ेगा. अगर 2 पूछा तो आपको 2 ही लिखना पड़ेगा. So accordingly, if those are right, you will get the marks for that. Okay. So state and prove हो गया. State any 4 advantages हो गया. Question number 8. Now it is a numerical question. Calculate the energy radiated in 1 minute by a perfectly black body of surface area 200 centimeters square when it is maintained at 127 degree Celsius. Now what you will do for a numerical? First write down the given things, what has been given to us. Then you write down what has to be found out. The stepwise presentation is very important. Then you write down the formula to be used to solve that numerical. And at the end, you will go for the solution. So in this way, you are supposed to write down all the points for that numerical. Similarly, for question number 9, 2 coils having self-inductance 60 millihertz, millihenry, sorry, each are coupled with each other. If the coefficient of coupling is 0.75, calculate the mutual inductance between them. You know the formula. You know the given things. Okay, write down given things. Then to find out what has to be found out, then the formula to be used, and then the solution. Now in solution also, how you will proceed? You will write down the formula, you will substitute the values in a formula, and then you will go for a calculation. And at the end also, numerical value along with the unit. Do not forget to write down the unit of a physical quantity which has been asked in the examination. Next one, question number 10. Again, it is a numerical based question. Now, if your theory is very good, dear students, I am very sure that you will be in a position to solve the those particular numerical. The reason behind it, most of the derivations are best to conclude into the formula. और वो फॉर्मूला अगर हमें पता होगा तो डेफिनेटली हमको न्यूमेरिकल से उसके बेस का तो आएगा ही आएगा, श्योर. ओके, सो क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 इज आल्सो बेस्ड ऑन द न्यूमेरिकल. Question number 11, state the advantages of a potentiometer over a voltmeter. Now here the number of advantages have not been mentioned. But since the question has been asked for 2 marks, so minimum 2 advantages are expected. There are 4 advantages are given in a textbook. Okay, so I will suggest you that before, instead of going for only to write the 2 advantages, write all the 4 advantages, which are very easy also. Okay, you will definitely, if those are right, you will definitely get 2 marks of it. So wherever there is not mentioned, it has not been mentioned, the number, it is instructed, it is suggested to you that write down all the points which you are aware about. Okay, so state the advantages. Now sometimes it happens that one of the advantage is not right, is wrong, then जो भी right लिखा होगा आपको उसका marks मिल जाएगा. Okay, so write down all the advantages which have been given in a textbook. Okay, draw a neat and labeled circuit diagram for a full wave rectifier. Now in case of a full wave rectifier, as we require 2 diodes. Okay, so here you are supposed to show where is a transformer, where are the diodes, where is the load resistors have been connected, show the direction of the current also, which has been given in a textbook. So draw it properly. Draw it properly, label it properly, where is the diode, which is transformer, which is the this one, load resistance. Okay, so you're supposed to mention it properly. Okay, enclose it in a box. Okay, label with a pencil, draw it with a pencil only. Use a scale for that purpose. हाथ से directly ऐसे ही मत draw कीजिएगा. Use a proper scale and pencil, and then you draw the diagram. Okay, if it is neat and clean, definitely you can score the good marks in that. Okay, and write down all the labelings. जो आपको पता है उसमें से लेबलिंग जितने दिए हैं टेक्स्ट बुक में उतने तो लिखना ही है, बट ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि टेक्स्ट बुक में दिए हुए नहीं है, बट आपको पता है कि वो ये आपको पता है कि ये लेबलिंग उसका करना है, तो absolutely you can write down that labeling also. So the examiner will see that how much you are aware about the content, about the understanding, you how much you are understood that particular subject. So अगर जब वो self explanatory रहेगा आपका diagram, definitely आपको 2 marks तो वहीं पे मिल जाएंगे. Enclose it in a box. Draw neat and clean a diagram. Very essential. Okay. Next, proceeding with the question number 13 and 14. Again, those are the numericals. Okay. So as I already instructed to you, write down step by step and complete the numericals and write down the last answer along with the unit. Okay. So question number 13 and 14. So out of those 12 questions, you are supposed to attempt only 8 questions. So first of all, you just go through all that question and be confident the question number of which you are confident. Please write it down only the answer of those question only. वो पहले कंप्लीट करो. आपको लग रहा है कि नेक्स्ट वाला जो है, सपोज आप लोगों ने 11 तक कंप्लीट किया, आपको लगा कि 12, 13, 14 है, मैं कंप्लीट कर सकता हूँ थोड़ा बहुत, लेकिन डायलेमा में है. बट डू नॉट गो इमीडिएटली टू सॉल्व दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. यू कैन गो फॉर अ नेक्स्ट सेक्शन. वो जो 12, 13, 14 है वो आप एंड में भी कर सकते हो. राइट. ओके, एंड एंड में ही करो. जितने की जरूरत है वो पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर आप पहले कंप्लीट करो, एंड जो ऑप्शन में रखा हुआ है उसका आंसर आप बाद में लिखो एट द एंड ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन. ओके, टाइम मैनेजमेंट तो आपने किया हुआ है, सो अकॉर्डिंगली यू डेफिनेटली यू कैन जस्ट गाइड योरसेल्फ दैट हाउ यू आर सपोज्ड टू प्रोसीड. Section C, attempt any 8 questions of the following. Now again, is already instructed to you that सिलेक्ट कीजिएगा आपको जो क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करना है, which you find you are more confident, relevant. Yes, ये मुझे 3 मार्क दे देगा, उसका मुझे डायग्राम पता है, उसका मुझे एक्सप्लेनेशन पता है. I know the numerical values of that. I know the numericals, how to solve it. I know the formula. तो वो आप टिक मार्क करके रखेगा. Not here. You can just use the last page of the answer sheet for that. Write down all the question and you can go for attempting that section C. Now, out of those 11 questions, you are supposed to attempt any 8 question of the following. Question number 15. Now, अभी question number section C में के question जो है, उसका mark distribution कैसे होता है देखिए. Question number 15 जो है, obtain an expression for the period of a bar magnet vibrating in a uniform magnetic field performing SHM. Period of a bar magnet. Okay. Now यहाँ पे आपको time period निकालना है. तो आपको थोड़ा सा डायग्राम उसका निकालना पड़ेगा. इट हैज बीन सस्पेंडेड इन अ यूनिफॉर्म मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. ओके, तो उसके लिए आपको हाफ मार्क्स रहेगा. हाफ मार्क फॉर द डेरिवेशन. इफ इट इज गिवन इन अ टेक्स्ट बुक, the diagram has been given in a textbook, it is mandatory to draw it in the examination for that question. Okay, so half mark for the diagram, half mark for the explanation of the diagram, and 2 mark for the derivation. And end में भी आप लिखो, this is the expression for the period of a power magnet vibrating in uniform magnetic field. Okay, now while writing the answer of all section, basically not only section C, that avoid rewriting, avoid overwriting. If you are not confident, please do not write that question only. ओके, कैंसिलेशन अवॉइड कीजिएगा. कैंसिलेशन भी होगा तो भी वो बहुत शैबी लगता है. प्लीज अवॉइड कैंसिलेशन, प्लीज अवॉइड ओवर राइटिंग. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि ये बराबर नहीं है, दूसरा आंसर है इसका, जस्ट पुट अ स्मॉल क्रॉस अक्रॉस, नॉट टू बी करेक्टेड, ऐसे आप लिख सकते हो. एंड देन यू कैन गो फॉर अ आंसर which you are definitely confident, which you find it is relevant, then you can write down step by step. Okay, so please, so as to get the maximum marks, avoid those cancellation. Okay, so in a thermodynamic system, second question, next question number 16, in a thermodynamic system, define mechanical equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium. As it is already been stated, you are supposed to write down the definition of each one of it. So each carries how many marks? 1 marks. Okay, वो clear cut आपको समझ में आ रहा है. Okay, so 1 mark. If any of the definition is not been written properly, or it is wrong, then definitely you will lose a mark for that, but you will get the mark for other two. So you will get 2 marks for that. Next one, what is Brewster's law? Derive the formula for Brewster's angle. Okay, now we are in this case 1 mark for the Brewster's law हो सकता है, and 2 mark for the derivation में हो सकता है, या तो फिर half mark for the Brewster's law हो सकता है, and बाकी का जो आपका 1, 2 and half है वो आपको किसके लिए रहेगा? फॉर्मूलाज के लिए. अभी ब्रिस्टर्स लॉ में क्या है? डायग्राम है, डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना जरूरी है, लेबलिंग करना उसको जरूरी है. विच वन इज अ पोलराइज्ड लाइट, विच वन इज अ अनपोलराइज्ड लाइट, विच इज अ रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट. ओके, सो विच इज अ पोलराइजिंग एंगल. सो ये सब आपको यहाँ पे दिखाना जरूरी है ब्रिस्टर्स लॉ में. तो आपको वो प्रॉपरली डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना है, उसको लेबल करना है, एंड देन एक्सप्लेन दैट डायग्राम, एंड देन गो फॉर द डेरिवेशन पार्ट. Derive an expression. Next question number 18 is derive an expression for the law of radioactive decay. Define 1 becquerel, okay, which is a unit of activity. So here in this case, derive an expression के लिए आपको 2 मार्क रहेंगे and 1 मार्क आपका रहेगा definition के लिए. So in this way, you can expect that you will get 2 mark for that. Now for this derivation of expression, there is no any diagram. So it is not expected to draw the diagram for that experiment, for that question. Okay, so directly you can go for the derivation of that, and at the end you can write down the definition of the 1 becquerel. Okay. Question number 19, state and prove Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. Now, up till now, you would have been now in a position to understand that how the mark has been distributed for a particular question. Here also, state and prove Kirchhoff law of a heat radiation. Statement के लिए 1 मार्क रहेगा, 2 मार्क रहेगा आपका प्रूफ के लिए. So, प्रूफ में भी आपको हाफ हाफ and 1 ऐसा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा स्टेप का. ओके, सो अकॉर्डिंगली आई सपोज टू राइट डाउन दोज पर्टिकुलर स्टेप्स. देन A is equal to E, coefficient of absorption is equal to coefficient of emission. So absolutely whatever is expected in that particular law, you are supposed to write it down. Obtain an expression for a practical determination of the end correction. Now you are supposed to find out that practical end correction ka formula for 2 different cases. One case is about for a pipe open at both ends, and for a pipe closed at one end. Now it has been asked for 2 different cases. इसका मतलब 1.5 mark रहेगा पहले केस के लिए, और दूसरे केस के लिए क्या रहेगा? 1.5 mark रहेगा. So if at all the 2 has been written by you and it is right, you can ask, you can just claim for 3 marks for that. Okay. Question number 21. It is a conducting bar is rotating with a constant angular speed around a pivot at one end in a uniform magnetic field perpendicular to its plane of rotation. Obtain an expression for the rotational EMF induced between the ends of the bar. Okay. Now यहाँ पे अभी 1 मार्क रहेगा. हाँ, ऑप्टेन एक्सप्रेशन है आपका. ओके, सो एक्सप्रेशन के लिए पूरा 3 मार्क है. सो अगेन हाफ मार्क डायग्राम, हाफ मार्क फॉर द एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ अ डायग्राम, एंड 2 मार्क फॉर द डेरिवेशन. इंक्लूड दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टेप्स. क्वेश्चन नंबर 22 में है, ये न्यूमेरिकल है हमारा. An electron in hydrogen atom stays in its second orbit for 10 raised to minus at second. How many revolutions will it make around the nucleus in that time? Again, given. Now this given constant has not been given in a paper at first. So इसलिए वो separately दिया हुआ है. Okay? अगर separately दिया नहीं होता तो definitely दिया होता तो यहाँ पे शायद नहीं होता है. So whichever is essential, whichever constant are essential to solve the particular numerical will be definitely given to you. Okay, so E का वैल्यू दिया है, चार्ज का वैल्यू दिया हुआ है और mass of an electron is also been given. So with the help of those given thing you can just solve this numerical. Again in a numericals you are supposed to write down the steps. Steps में कैसे होगा? पहले given things, then to find it out, what has to be found out, then a formula to be written, then solution. अभी solution में अभी 3 मार्क कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है? Either डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है हमारा 1 1 1 3 मार्क के लिए. अगर किसी एक्सपेरिमेंट में किसी न्यूमेरिकल में कभी कभी क्या होता है एक से ज्यादा फॉर्मूलाज यूज करने होते हैं, राइट? ओके, तो अगर कोई लास्ट क्वांटिटी निकालना है तो हमें पहले दूसरे उस क्वांटिटीज में उस फॉर्मूला में अगर कोई दूसरा क्वांटिटी रहेगा तो उसका फॉर्मूला अलग रहता है, तो उसके लिए 1 मार्क रहेगा और बाकी का जो एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी लास्ट में निकालना है उसका 2 मार्क रहेगा. सो इन दिस वे ऑल्सो द न्यूमेरिकल का जो मार्क्स है वो भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो सकता है. So read the question carefully, write down the data carefully, then you will be in a position to identify the formula to be used in a particular numerical. Okay. Question number 23, 24. See, all three are 23, 24, 25. All these are the numerical based type of a question. Now, in case of a 23 directly work done का formula हमको use करके हमको वो find out करना है. 24 में हमें 2 quantities दिए निकालने के लिए. क्या निकालना है हमें? कैलकुलेट रेजिस्टेंस रिक्वायर्ड टू कन्वर्ट, क्या कन्वर्ट इनटू एन एमीटर ऑफ 0.5 एम्पियर रेंज. यानी हमें गैल्वेनोमीटर को एमीटर में कन्वर्ट करना है तो उसका वेटेज रहेगा 1.5 मार्क्स रहेगा. और जब गैल्वेनोमीटर टू वोल्ट मीटर सेकेंड पॉइंट जो दिया है उसके लिए कितना रहेगा? 1.5. सो अब ये 1.5 कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया गया होगा? हाफ मार्क्स फॉर द डायग्राम, half mark, sorry, not diagram, half mark for the formula, half mark for the substitution in the formula, and last 1 mark for the what? The derivation. Half mark for the derivation. Okay, sorry, the value along with the numerical unit as well as the numerical value. Okay, so in this way that 1.5 mark will be distributed. Substitution, formula and the last answer. Okay, calculation करने के बाद. ओके, लॉग कैलकुलेशन रहेगा तो वो आपका जो सब्स्टिट्यूशन के बाद वाला स्टेप है उसमें आपको मिल जाएगा. यानी राइट अगर आपका आंसर रहेगा तो डेफिनेटली दैट लॉग कैलकुलेशन का आपका जो मार्क्स है तो उसमें इंक्लूड किया जाता है. सो ऑल दीज आर द न्यूमेरिकल्स. ओके, so question number 26, it is also numericals. Calculate the magnetic field at its center along the axis. Now it is a very easy numerical, solenoid का दिया हुआ है. Okay, so इसमें भी आपको क्या है? डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला है, फॉर्मूला यूज करना है, उसमें सब्स्टिट्यूशन करना है and then you are supposed to find out the last answer. Now most of the numericals, my dear students, have been asked in which there is no requirement of a log calculation only. कभी कभी नहीं लगता है, मैन्युअली भी आप इजीली निकाल सकते हो. अभी in case of a numericals, I'll suggest you one thing that whenever you will solve the numericals, उसका अगर calculation करना है तो जो भी numerical values रहेगा डिवीजन का, मल्टीप्लिकेशन का, वो आप एक तरफ ले लीजिएगा. एंड जो 10 का पावर है 10 रेज टू माइनस 4 एंड डिनोमिनेटर पे रहेगा 10 रेज टू माइनस 8, तो वो 10 का पावर है वो आप अलग लिखिएगा. सो 10 का पावर का जो है वो एडिशन सब्ट्रैक्शन जो भी करना है आप कर सकते हो और बाकी का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो आप अलग करके उसका कैलकुलेशन करो. 10 के पावर को आप लॉग कैलकुलेशन में इंक्लूड मत करो एंड इन दिस वे you can complete your log calculation. Okay, so otherwise what exactly happened, you know, 10 का power when you consider for the log calculation basically, तो उसका फिर characteristic क्या होगा, फिर उसका मैंटिसा कैसे निकलेगा, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आपके माइंड में आ रहा है सोचें. तो 10 रेज टू का जितना भी पावर है वो आप अलग ही रखिएगा, उसको लॉग कैलकुलेशन में इंक्लूड ही मत कीजिएगा. बाकी जो वैल्यूज है उसको इंक्लूड करके उसका प्रोडक्ट डिवीजन जो भी निकालना है वो निकाल के एट द एंड you can just go for it. Section D. हाँ, question Continue. Section D, attempt any 3 questions of the following. Question number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Out of 5 questions, you're supposed to attempt only 3 questions. Okay. अभी ये 3 क्वेश्चन में भी आप देख सकते हैं कि उसमें से 2 हमारा थियोरी बेस्ड है एंड बाकी का जो 3 है हमारा वो 2+2 के इसमें है. तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन कौन सा है? व्हाट इज फेरोमैग्नेटिज्म, एक्सप्लेन इट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ डोमेन थियरी. अभी ये 4 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है, उसमें 1 मार्क आपका रहेगा व्हाट इज फेरोमैग्नेटिज्म के लिए. सो उसका जो डेफिनेशन है, उसका जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है वो आपको देना है. उसके बाद एक्सप्लेन इट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ डोमेन थ्योरी, सो उसके लिए आपको रहेगा 3 मार्क्स. सो डायग्राम के लिए 1 मार्क रहेगा या तो हाफ मार्क रहेगा एंड देन एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ दैट हैज टू बी written properly. Okay, so here you can just go through it. Question number 28, obtain an expression for average power dissipated in a series LCR circuit. अभी इसमें आपको एलसीआर सर्किट है तो एब्सोल्युटली एलसीआर का जो डायग्राम है वो आपको ड्रॉ करना है सीरीज में कनेक्ट करने के बाद. फिर उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है, फिर उसका स्टेप्स है, डेरिवेशन के जो स्टेप्स है. सो ऑल द स्टेप्स हैज टू बी रिटन और एंड में आपका रहेगा एवरेज पावर का एक्सप्लेनेशन. Okay, so in this way you will get the 4 mark of that question number 28. In case of question number 29, my dear students, what is the question? Distinguish between interference and diffraction of a light. And then the numericals has been given. So अगर यहाँ पे अभी 2 क्वेश्चन है, एक है वो थियरी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है which will be asked for 2 marks and 2 marks का जो आपका न्यूमेरिकल्स है. ओके, सो डिस्टिंग्विश में भी इंटरफेरेंस एंड डिफ्रैक्शन, as I told you that at least 2 points to be written. If there are 4 points, mention all the 4 points. अगर एक कोई अगर गलती से रॉन्ग भी हो गया तो भी आपको जो राइट लिखा है उसका तो मार्क्स मिल ही जाएगा. ओके, सो एटलीस्ट 2 points are expected, but you write 4 points, which it is suggested to you. So distinguish between interference and diffraction के लिए 2 मार्क है और न्यूमेरिकल्स में half mark diagram, sorry, half mark formula, half mark explanation, substitution, and 1 mark for the last one answer के लिए. Okay, along with the unit. Fine, that is question number 29. Now question number 30 में देखिएगा. State Einstein photoelectric equation and mention physical significance of each term involved in it. आइंस्टाइन इक्वेशन, इसमें वर्क फंक्शन है, उसमें एच म्यू है. सो वॉट एवर, वॉट यू मीन बाय एच, वॉट यू मीन बाय म्यू, वॉट यू मीन बाय दैट वर्क फंक्शन. ओके, तो ये आपका जो एक्सप्लेनेशन आपको देना वहां पे जरूरी है. सो वो स्टेटमेंट आपने लिखा फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इक्वेशन का, अगर आपने इक्वेशन लिख दिया तो डेफिनेटली उसका 1 मार्क मिलेगा. और जो भी टर्म्स इन्वॉल्व है इन दैट इक्वेशन उसका जो मीनिंग आपको लिखना है उसके लिए आपको क्या रहेगा, 1 मार्क रहेगा. So here you will get 2 marks if you have written it properly. Wavelength of incident light is 4000. Calculate the energy of the incident photon. The question has been asked. Numerical has been asked for 2 marks. Again, the formula, then substitution, and then last is a numerical value along with the unit. Question number 31, state any 4 uses of Van de Graaff generator. Specially mention किया हुआ है, particularly mention किया है any 4 uses. 5 to 6 uses are been given. You can write down any 4. If you know all 5, please write down all 5, all 6. जितने भी आपको पता है उतने आप लिख लो. Okay, 4 uses of Van de Graaff generator and 2 mark have been asked for the have been given to the numerical. अभी यहाँ पे मैं आपको नोट डाउन करना चाहूंगी कि ये जो न्यूमेरिकल दिया हुआ है that is based on the displacement current. जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट करंट का न्यूमेरिकल या तो फिर उसका थियोरी इतने सालों में कभी नहीं पूछा गया था, बट दिस ईयर इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड. फरवरी 2025 में पूछा गया है एज वेल एज जुलाई 2025 में भी बेस्ड ऑन डिस्प्लेसमेंट करंट दैट न्यूमेरिकल हैज बीन आस्क्ड. देयर इज स्मॉल फार्मूला एक्चुअली, एकदम कोने में एक फार्मूला है टॉप में और वो फार्मूला में जो सब्स्टिट्यूशन करना है. ओके, बट sometime it happens that whenever you read the textbook, अरे ये तो बहुत छोटा है इसमें थोड़ी पूछेंगे. See, can be asked for any number of marks. Okay, तो जो भी अगर चैप्टर आप कर रहे हो वो thoroughly prepared करना बहुत जरूरी है along with the numericals. Okay, so theory and numericals to be prepared properly. Okay, so in this way, if you write down the paper, I am quite sure that definitely you can score the good marks in the examination. It's already instructed to you. Avoid cancellation, avoid overwriting, be confident about writing the paper, be confident about the questions to be written during the examination. Okay, and slowly and steadily be calm, keep your mind calm and then attempt the question. Sometimes it happens that initially you may not be in a position to write down, to remember the things, doesn't matter. ओवर द थोड़ा सा आप शांत हो जाएंगे तो आपको सब कुछ डेफिनेटली याद आ जाएगा. समटाइम इट हैपेंस, टेंशन से हमें याद नहीं आता है, लेकिन टेंशन निकाल दो, डेफिनेटली आप हर एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर अच्छी तरह से लिख पाएंगे. ओके, सो दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. Okay, so Vidyalankar offers us the MSTCAT 2026 crash course hai. The crash course is online as well as offline, and it is free for the Vidyalankar students. The other students who want to opt for it definitely can contact Vidyalankar and ask for it. It is very essential, my dear students, if you're preparing for the CET examination. Okay, so what are the features of that examination of that course? Program features: complete syllabus coverage. The whole syllabus will be covered in that crash course itself. The syllabus for that CET examination is your 12th standard examination syllabus only. Board का ही हमारा syllabus है. So all will be completed in that particular duration. Daily study plan will be given to you and accordingly it will be monitored. Okay. Daily test series with a detailed analysis will be provided to you, and last minute revision, absolutely, which is very much essential for a particular topic, my dear students. And all these features will be provided by the expert faculty. Okay, so we are having an expert faculty. Vidyalankar is having an expert faculty, will definitely guide you in order to complete that crash course thoroughly, and definitely you will be prepared for the CET examination properly. Okay. Vidyalankar also is having the score booster books for MHT CAT. What are the features of this score booster books? What are the topics or what are the things has been covered up in that? MHT CAT papers with the solutions of all online slots for PCM and PCB group. So you will be getting the solution along with the question paper. It is very essential to understand what is exactly the solution, my dear students. Which type of a question will be asked in the examination. Okay. So if you are just taking this particular books or purchasing this particular book, definitely you will be solving all those particular CET papers. Questions with the solutions on newly introduced topic from MHT CET 2025. Any topic which has been added in 2025 syllabus definitely will be covered up in that those books. 5 online full syllabus test will solution with the solutions and performance analysis. That means how you are performing the during that particular question series. Absolutely will be provided to you. So you will understand that where you stand up basically. Okay, आपने आपका preparation कितना हुआ है, कितना बाकी है, will definitely make you understand about that one, and which is very much essential. So whenever you understand that what is a lacuna or where you lack basically in a particular topic, you will improve in that sense. Okay, so definitely this guidance is very much essential as per your board examination as well as the CET examination is concerned. Okay. Yeah. All the best for your examination. I'm damn sure, my dear students, if you follow all those instructions, all those suggestions which have been discussed in this particular video, definitely will be helpful for you to score the good marks in the examination. All the best for the examination.